Okay, you know what? Full warning, I'm going to be swearing like a sailor, so if that offends you, maybe don't watch this video. It's not going to be about Larry, but I couldn't help it because I'm in a mood and I've been sick the last couple of days. So I'm going to be savage, but I'm going to be smart because you know what? I just feel like it right now. And you're going to get the American accent because I cannot swear as well when I'm in my childhood voice. Okay, so Brittany Martinez is the founder of this magazine called Evie, EVIE, and it's, trad wife bullshit, motherfucker stuff. And, good for her. I come from a whole bunch of generations of people with, big families. In fact, I think I'm the first generation in like 20 that did not follow suit. Okay. So I know all about big families and the pluses and minuses of that. And I have both grandmothers who had their youngest child in their mid 40s. So yeah, they didn't practice birth control. They were really Catholic. So I personally, if money was no object and if, I had astronomical support, I would have probably gone to a sperm bank years ago and had a bunch of babies, honestly. But you know what? Life just doesn't work that way. And with how rapid and exponential inflation has been, it's a choice made with consideration. So there is a certain kind of quote that travels well on Instagram. It's short, it's confident, it makes you feel like you've been told the truth. But sometimes those quotes do more harm than good, especially when they erase economic reality and call it empowerment. This week, a motherfucking post by Brittany Martinez, founder of Evie magazine, went viral again. I think it went viral. I don't know. I don't give a fuck anymore. It read something about how Reese Witherspoon was so glad she had babies when she was like 23 and had them young. Well, yeah, I'm glad for Reese Witherspoon. You know what? Because when my mother was my age, I was turning 30, okay? So you know what? Do I not feel behind? Absolutely fucking I do. But you know what? Different reality. I was not raised in California. I was not raised in the Bay Area, which is really expensive now. So, you know what? Good for fucking Reese Witherspoon because she had the money at 23. She was already a bona fide star and the support. And with Reese Witherspoon was either already married to Ryan Felipe at the time or they were about to get married. So, she wasn't going to be going to the single mother route alone. Okay. So, I wasn't ready for a baby, but I figured it out. Stop telling women to wait until they're ready. Well, fuck you. Are you going to pay for that kid? Are you going to buy the pablum? Are you going to buy the diapers? Are you going to give me free babysitting? So shut the fuck up. Sounds bold, right? Sounds fearless, but let's be clear. This isn't bravery. It's branding and it's little Brittany trying to carve her little piece into the conservative pie. Well, you know what, Brittany? Good for you. Good for fucking you. But you know what? Your reality is not duplicated across multiple realities because life is not that simple. And who the fuck are you, Brittany? Well, she's the face of a growing media movement that looks like pro-woman content on the outside, but often serves as a delivery system for deeply conservative values, which I don't mind. But part of conservative values is, well, you know what? Maybe don't have kids if you can't fucking afford it. And Evie magazine markets itself as a being for the modern wellness-focused woman who doesn't hate femininity. I never said I hated femininity, but femininity, to define it only as I'm going to birth a bunch of babies, is completely not taking into account that there's a growing infertility rate among younger and younger people in their prime fertility years. Why is that? I don't know. Environments, phytoestrogens, I don't know. Something's up. And, think skincare tips, hormone hacks, and anti-woke sound bites, and romanticized portrayals of motherhood. It's beautiful, it's pastel, and it's quietly ideological. Martinez herself blends glamour with grit. Her own bio says she's a mother, businesswoman, and thought leader. And, to her credit, she's built a recognizable platform, spewing this bullshit, trad wife bullshit. But here's the problem. Her version of just figure it out feminism is not just out of touch. It's actively misleading. You know why? because public programs that help struggling young moms, they're not the same. They vary state to state. They vary county to county. And you know what? Policies can change any given time. Look what happened with the federal government and the food stamp thing. It can change on a dime. So shut the fuck up, Brittany. Shut the fuck up. It assumes that women today are afraid of motherhood because of mindset issues, not material ones. And I'll be the first to say I am a female misogynist and I hate feminism, and cosmopolitan ruined my fucking life, okay? I admit that, but I still say, even if I didn't encounter cosmopolitan, I see the economic reality because I left home at 16. Do you know how hard it is if you don't have the support, you don't have the money, if you don't have the maturity? Oh my God, I would have been a horrible mother. In fact, I'm kind of glad I didn't have children when I did have the chance. You know why? Because I have absolutely no patience. People seem to disagree with me, but to thine own self be true. I have no patience, and it would be a disservice to become a parent if you cannot acquire the patience really right away. And this is where the entire frame that Miss Brittany pulls out falls apart. Because let's talk about why figuring it out is not the same in 2025. In 1970, the average house cost around $23,000. A single income, often from the father, could support the entire family. Mortgage, groceries, school supplies, everything. Today, the median home price in most urban areas is pushing $700,000. That's actually in a poor neighborhood, especially in places like the Bay Area. You want a really good home? We're looking up into the 3.5 to 5 million range for probably like no more than a master bedroom and maybe 2 other bedrooms. Like, it's not good. Childcare for just one infant can cost $15,000 to $20,000 a year. And in student loans, rising health insurance premiums and rent hikes. And what you get is not fear. You get math. We're not dealing with a courage crisis. We're dealing with an affordability crisis. Telling women to just do it anyways, like telling someone drowning in a flood that umbrellas used to work just fine. Sure, your grandmother had 6 kids. Hey, mine had 8 and she could have had 9, but then there was a miscarriage. Another had 6. Okay, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. But she also had a house she could afford on one income, and it was paid off because they built it. And food prices that didn't rise faster than wages. This isn't about backbone, it's about baseline economics. What's insidious about Brittany's quote isn't just that it's wrong, it's that it's morally smug. It implies that today's women are too soft, that we've been coddled by culture, that we overthink, overplan, and if we just push through like she did, we'd realize the universe rewards action. But let's be honest. This isn't an emotionally neutral message. It's a backhanded insult to women who are doing everything right. Budgeting, building, making careful decisions, and still can't afford to bring a child into the world without risking collapse. The message is this: I did it, so you should too. Well, if you don't, you're just making excuses. Well, you know what? Fuck you, Brittany. I hope your husband doesn't leave you. I hope you don't become barren. I hope you don't, God forbid, suddenly have perimenopausal, early onset menopause psychosis. Because I had an aunt that exact thing happened to. You know why? Because she was so beautiful when she was young. Both my aunts, both sides of the family, beauty queens. And I'm not joking. I would say their names, but I don't want to reveal my identity. One was second runner-up and would have been Miss Philippines sometime in the late 60s, early 70s. Will not say the year, but absolutely good looking. Looked more like a Spaniard. But when she hit menopause, she went psycho because she was losing her looks. Another aunt, same problem, same thing, other side of the family. So you know what? When you lose your look, sweetheart, I don't care how much money you have, no plastic surgeon's going to make you look 25 and hot again. Trust me, I've looked into that. But that only works if the playing field is equal, and it is not. Let's say you're a 32-year-old social worker in LA making $80,000 a year. You're single, you rent a 1-bedroom, you pay $600 a month in health insurance because your employer doesn't fully cover it, and you're not poor enough to qualify for the premium assistance under Covered California. You've got $42,000 in student loans and a used Honda with 98,000 miles on it. You're not lazy. You're not unambitious. You're just living in a reality where risk has consequences. And you know what? That's not fear. That's responsibility. The deeper danger of Martinez's advice is that it promotes heroic struggle over systemic awareness. It tells women that if you don't leap, you'll regret it later, that motherhood is the ultimate badge of womanhood, and if you wait until you're ready, you'll miss the moment entirely. Well, even if you don't wait, you could just, it just may not still may not work out. It's just, life just doesn't have guarantees in every single area of life, unfortunately. Some women will never feel ready. But that fear-mongering erases something vital, informed choice. Others will wait, and that waiting will save them years of hardship. Neither path is superior. But pushing the idea that you should override your guilt, your gut, your budget, and your mental health because someone else did and survived isn't just irresponsible, it is dangerous. It teaches women to distrust their own discernment, to override their intuition, to glorify hardship and call it destiny. And let's be real. If someone can only justify their own choice by dismissing everyone else's, that's not empowerment. That's insecurity with a ring light, you motherfucker. Here's what actual empowerment sounds like. You don't have to justify your timeline to anyone. You're allowed to wait until it feels right for you, your body, your relationship, your finances. Having a child is a moral decision, not just a personal one. It requires support, care, and stability, not just faith. We're not asking for utopia. We're asking for recognition. Recognition that housing costs have tripled, that healthcare has become a luxury, that student loan debt delays family planning by years. We're not afraid of motherhood. We're just honest about what it costs. And that honesty, that's not weakness, that's wisdom. So the next time some bitch tells you that they figured it out, remember this. If you didn't go on your back and if you weren't pretty, you probably would just not be saying this right now, you dumb fuck. They might have had help you didn't have. They might be speaking from pretty privilege. And yes, I'm going to call it out. Pretty privilege does exist. You know why? When I hit the gym again and I lose the weight again. And when I finally get all the procedures that I have scheduled done, I'll have my little pretty privilege back because every few months I need to tweak myself because, I am getting older. Anywho's, she's speaking from privilege, not perseverance. And that might be selling you a story that does not fit your life. So you're not broken thinking it through. You're not cowardly for waiting. You're not selfish for wanting to build a foundation first. You're the one awake. And if this resonated with you, share it with someone who's been made to feel guilty for thinking practically, because people deserve better than Pinterest-sized slogans trying to cover systemic erasure. We deserve policies, not platitudes. And I'm not speaking from liberal or conservative. I'm just speaking from libertarian practicality. So Brittany, fuck off.